We live in a world where authenticity is no longer something discovered. It's something manufactured. What we call vintage is rarely old at all, but a curated illusion of the past designed to lend legitimacy to new products and experiences. Instagram filters artificially age photos with film grain and faded edges, not for nostalgia's sake, but as visual shortcuts that bypass suspicion. These digital time-worn textures are trust signals, convincing us we're looking at something real rather than synthetic. In this way, authenticity is repackaged as a commodity history, is no longer preserved. It's reimagined for consumption.
Memory is the silent collaborator in every act of creation. It shapes not only the content, but
Roland Barthes once told us that photographs contain two elements: studium, the general interest, and punctum, that jarring detail that pricks the viewer. But what happens when the image itself is a lie? When deepfakes can manufacture studium and erase punctum alike? The original meaning of Barthes is dying in an age where authenticity is no longer about experience, but about performance. What matters isn't truth anymore. It's emotional resonance tailored to marketable nostalgia. Neil Postman warned us that technopoly doesn't just reshape our world, it reshapes how we talk about the past itself. In his book, Technopoly, he described a culture where technology isn't just a tool, but an authority over meaning and memory. Once tools become the arbiters of truth, history is no longer something to be studied or understood. It's data points to be reassembled by algorithms. The digital present absorbs the past into its logic, replacing tradition with efficiency, heritage with simulations. The AI-generated film, A Dreams of Violets, made headlines as a proof of concept for how digital tools can fabricate entire cinematic histories. It cost $2,000 and took just 2 months, a fraction of what it would take to shoot a comparable film with humans. But here's the rub. We're not just replacing labor. We are replacing memory itself. A machine doesn't need to learn history in the same way as humans do. It only needs to mimic plausible coherence. As we outsource narrative creation to algorithms, this is a re-engineering of cultural memories. In technocratic cultures, the past is not lost, it's simply no longer legible. The ethical crisis emerges when memory becomes a construct of code, where algorithms generate narratives that align with present day ideologies and market interests. Postman described this as a quiet but total erasure of alternatives to the present. When we can only remember what our machines let us forget, our understanding of history ceases to be critical. It becomes curated.
Out of air, water, and coal, we produce a fertilizer for which Americans formerly had to travel thousands of miles.
We once built the past to remember who we were, but now we build it to sell what we want you to believe tomorrow's world should look like. A film made in 2024 can claim to be a lost 70s classic without anyone blinking an eye. What matters is not whether it was real. It must only feel familiar enough to pass for something it isn't. This is the spoofing cycle. Fabricating authenticity, selling it as heritage, and repeating until truth becomes just another product on clearance. This arms race between forgery and detection has become as advanced in media production as it is in cybersecurity. Detection tools sharpen their algorithms, but fabrication techniques evolve faster. Deepfakes, AI voice actors, neural renderings of historical events that never happened. The cost, not just to truth, but to our collective ability to trust any image or sound as a reliable window into the past. AI can now render entire films at near zero cost, yet they are sold as high art. Authentic experiences crafted to feel real. We call them films, but they're not moving images with meaning. They're simulations of memories and the audience. They're not watching a story, they're consuming history on demand. The past becomes less an experience and more a product, curated by algorithms for nostalgia capital. When significance is no longer about meaning, it's just marketing.